Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk shop about XRP and the XRP price prediction. We got a lot of things changing. We're going to look at the hour candle. We'll even look at the minute candle, but we'll move into the 4 hour. We're going to look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. There are some things out there happening. They're messing with the structure of what we're looking for in terms of a nice push higher for crypto in general. You're seeing Bitcoin pull back. You're seeing Ethereum pull back. Of course, the altcoins will follow suit. You are seeing that with XRP as we speak. This is not just isolated to one crypto. The whole market is seeing a sell-off. You got the government shutdown. We go ahead and have the delays at the SEC. You got the China US arguing over tariffs and all kinds of things. So let's dig into it. Before we do, today is the last day. Today's the last day before the price increase. We've got a few hours left, actually. It's going to happen here shortly. Before, hopefully, we get it all done before the end of tonight. But if you want to get into the membership over the Discord, I'll be trading live tomorrow. You get access to the expert traders, the portfolio, all the moves, options, crypto, all the things we do. First link down below. This is increasing minimum 40%. It might be more, but you can get grandfathered in today at the cheaper price. And you can save 50% off your first month with code MOON, MOON, but it should be automatic when you check out. The best deal I got for you, though, for current members and anybody signing up, just hit this pay annually, and you'll get 20% off an annual pass. Makes it dirt cheap. Now, let's go ahead and talk. We got XRP. I got to show you a few things. Now, there's a lot of people that know I got my portfolio I share. I'll share that right now. Down about 29K for the day. We are up about 200 and something thousand since I started. 2231. So this is 2231. Make that not, what do we got? 113,000 here. 100,000 from the crypto portfolios I had. So we're up about 211,000 since I started sharing all my moves on YouTube about 10 to 11 weeks ago. Now that's evaporating. It's evaporating quickly, sadly, because of everything that's happening. So I have lines in the sand that I'm watching. So you can see a lot of the selling is coming from the crypto. That's what happens when you got over 1 million in crypto. So now come over to XRP. I had some people asking me, Mo, what are you looking at in terms of possibly selling some XRP? I'm going to show you the line right here. This is it. If we get to, and I'm going to pull up, make sure the price is there for everybody to see. If we get to this, this is roughly 238, 237 zone. If we confirm below there, I am going to de-risk. I'm de-risking. That is how I am looking at this. If we get a new lower low confirmed, and we're getting close, I'm de-risking. I'm gonna lock in some of the money. I'm gonna sit back and wait for a reversal. Once the reversal comes, I'm gonna go ahead and just absolutely load the boat. But we're not there yet. And I think what's gonna get us there is the government shutdown ends. You get a little bit of movement on the U.S. and China negotiations. We got a lot of things to watch for. It was a lot of fun making money over the last year. And we absolutely destroyed it in the Discord. I'm not talking about what you saw here in the last few weeks, making the hundreds of thousands. I'm talking about the hundreds and hundreds of thousands that we made over the last year. And now we're at a point where it's getting a little bit unnerving because you have the government shutdown that looks to go beyond that November 1st really critical time. As well as a lot of other things I'm watching for in terms of the SEC being held back because you got this government shutdown and it's starting to get worse and worse and worse. And the effects, they start to affect the GDP and everything else. So we are watching it. The effects are not positive. They will, as it goes on further and further, create more and more harm for that GDP. And thus you see the de-risking by a lot of people, which could include myself. We are close when it comes to XRP. So the daily candle, bearish, very bearish. I told you that when we crossed up here. Now, if you de-risk there, you save yourself some heartache. I probably should have. I didn't. I was hoping for cooler minds to step in and get things done. It did not happen. So now we move forward and we say, okay, I see the daily Mo. That's nasty. It is red at this particular moment in time, actually oversold. And you guys can see that. We get close, closing the day, big sell off. So I'm watching all this, like I said, just nastiness out there. And that moves us into the 4-hour candle. So the 4-hour candle gives us a little bit more to look at. How bad is it? It's bad. You're starting to get new, once you finish below here, you start to go down lower. In other words, we are getting close to that line that I told you. As soon as we start to cross and confirm here, that's where, and that's on the daily, once we get underneath the daily, that's where I have to start making that decision on a confirmation below there. And unfortunately, it may not be one that is the most popular, but it doesn't mean I'm getting out of everything. It means I'm de-risking. And I don't want to have to de-risk, but right now, with the dysfunction we're seeing, the closing of the government, the issues I've been seeing, they don't look like they're ready to be done. Now, when you zoom out on a weekly, when you look at the weekly candles, we have now just had last week the 5 crossing the 13 and now coming down to try to take out the 50. With the government shutdown, I'm not going to be surprised to see that happening. How low could we go, Mo? I got to be blunt. I think we can go back down to the 170 to 190 range. Thus why I want to get out if we're up at the 230 to 240 range if we break that. Because then if we do get down there, I could take that chance to buy back in at the 170 something range if we got to that line. I'm not sure if we do. I'm not sure if the 50 holds. Everything I'm kind of watching, I gave you a zone roughly in here. I would say between the 50 EMA and that 237 zone, if we lose that, that would be enough for me to say, okay, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, especially with all the things I've already talked about. You go into a monthly candle, we go check out the monthly candle, and you're seeing that too. We retested that resistance, retested the resistance 4 months in a row, but now we're pushing down, and that 5 is coming down. It almost feels like this is a little bit different, but it's only a little bit different because of these events that we could not predict, such as a possible government shutdown. It could be the longest in history. You got the tweet, the social media post, whatever it was called, between the U.S. and China. That absolutely crushed the markets. Now, you got other good news. You got the Fed out there saying they're going to be a little bit more, they're going to most likely cut the rates twice this year, 2 more times. And that's huge for crypto. It's big. We're waiting for the spot ETS for XRP as well. All of this and more, but everything is being just held back because of what we are seeing down in DC with this government shutdown. So until that's done, we got ourselves some trouble. And I'm feeling the pain, folks. Don't think that, oh, you're still up 200,000. Yeah, but I was up over 300,000. Who wants to lose all those gains? And the problem is you don't know how low it's going to go. So the one thing I do know, unless there's some kind of massive sell-off between now and tomorrow, you don't want to lose all that. You want to lock in some and just sit back until you get that right opportunity, such as the government shutdown ends. Because once the government shutdown ends, that's when I believe you're going to see a little bit of love in this market. And most likely, hopefully, we'll see a little bit of a V-shaped recovery, but there's never a guarantee. This could go on and on and on for a couple of more weeks, and that's the one thing we just don't know. Moving it over, if you look, like I said, to end the day here, let's just see how bad this got. We'll update this. 28K gone today. Go to the Fed watch. You see the rate cuts right now that they're calling for. They're calling for almost a 95% chance of 2 rate cuts this year. 2 more rate cuts by the end of this year, which is huge. This is going to be absolutely huge. So on the 29th, you get the next rate cut, most likely, and that's going to be big. That helps out crypto. It takes 30 to 60 days before XRP gets that love. And then another one, 6 weeks after that, 30 to 60 days before it gets the love. Go to the January. Now, January, they're calling for about a 50% chance we'll get that one additional cut. They'll have 3 cuts altogether. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see how everything goes. The longer this drags out, though, in terms of the government shutdown, the more likely I think it'll be. Because you're going to have a lot of pain with the unemployment and stuff like that. All right, folks, this is it. Last day. Get in here. Click the first link down below. Get over here. Take advantage of the of code MOON to get your first month 50% off for $25. And if you would like to get the best deal we have, click this little button. Once you click that button, all right, you're going to save 20% on your annual subscription, and it takes it down to this, which is absolutely dirt cheap, and because the price is increasing here later tonight. Second link down below gets you over to the webinar. We got the times ready to rock and roll today. No charge on that. That's where I'm in there teaching for an hour about my 4-step framework for successful technical analysis. This is how you learn to learn the technicals. And third, we got the Kraken promo. Trade 100 and get 25 in XRP. You got to use that third link down below, though. If you don't use that, you don't get it. All right, folks, I appreciate you stopping by. I will see you in the Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's get out there and make some money.